guys, welcome back to my Thursday channel. Today I'm going to share with you 4 mostly Dollar Tree DIY fall decors. If you'd like to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Okay, for this first one, I'm going to take 2 planks that I got at Dollar Tree. They are 7 by 3 7/8, and I'm just going to glue 2 of them together for the base. And go ahead and clamp them off to hold them together. Then I'm taking 3 ovals to make this one per each one, and I'm going to go ahead and glue the little Jenga tumbler blocks, 2 of them, to the back of each one of them. That way they can stand up. Now you can get these little ovals. They're 3 by 5. You can get them at the Dollar Tree, but I got mine at Hobby Lobby. They are 4 for $3.49, and I got mine for 40% off the other day. So really, it's a better value than the Dollar Tree. But just make sure that they are going right down to the bottom because you want this to be able to stand up. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the second one because we're going to do one for thankful and one for blessed. Just clip them together and then go ahead and glue your little Jenga blocks on the back of these 2. So it's going to be 2 blocks that make it stand up. Next, I'm going to take some oil bronzed water-based stain, and I'm just going to go ahead and stain my planks. I'm going to do the sides and the top only. Okay, next we're going to come in and we're going to paint our ovals. I'm painting 3 of them with the cottage white paint, and I'm painting 3 of them with Anitas pumpkin paint. So go ahead and get all of it covered on the front, let it dry really well, and then we're going to come back in and we're going to go ahead and paint the back as well. It just makes it look a little bit more high-end if you get it all painted. Now we're going to come back in with that same stain that we painted the bases with, and we're going to use a Q-tip, and we're going to kind of dab it off and just kind of go around the edges. Now there's 3 different layers of the ledges. Just go ahead and get a little bit around all of them. Just trying to get a little bit of a distressed look to each one of these. And then do it to the white ones as well. Okay, next we're going to take our base, and we're going to take our 2 outer pieces, and that's the one with the little box on them, and we're going to glue those 2 together. Just make sure they're standing up straight. Then we're going to glue the center one on those. And you're just going to glue the outside edge only because that's the only part that's going to glue to that wood. Just kind of smooth it in there real good, but get enough glue on there that it will hold. And then after you put it on there, just make sure it does stand up straight. And then set it aside and do the same thing with the orange one. But make sure that they stand up straight when you get them glued together. Okay, then we're just going to attach them to our board. We're just going to put a little bit of wood glue down the bottom. And you're going to go on the oval part as well. And the little stands. Just make sure you get plenty of glue. And then if you get any that oozes out after you put it on your base, just clean that off. Take another Q-tip and just clean that off. You just want to make sure that you don't see any of that glue because it will dry yellow. And do the same thing with that board as well. Just kind of take a look at it. You can even use a little paintbrush. I've done that before just to kind of clean the excess glue off. Okay, next we're going to take 2 more Jenga blocks, and we're just going to cut the ends of them at an angle. And this is going to be for our stem for our pumpkin. And I'm just going to paint them green. Then after I get them painted green, I'm just going to come back in with some brown, and I'm just going to do some lines on it just to kind of give it a more textured look. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stain the words the same colors I stained the base. Just make sure that you get all the sides and the front. And this is a water-based stain, which makes it a lot easier, so you can just wash it off. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and add my little stem to the pumpkins. Just glue the back of it on there. And then I'm going to take some raffia, and I'm just going to tie some ribbon around it, and then tie it off in a knot. And then I'm going to add some leaves, and I got those leaves in the seasonal section at Hobby Lobby, and they're a felt leaf. And I'm just going to tie that in 2 knots, and then I'm just going to trim it off. And then I decided to come back in and trim them just a little bit shorter. And then go ahead and push them all the way down and just glue that to the front so it stays on. Okay, then I'm just going to attach a leaf to it, just a little green leaf. And then I'm going to put my word thankful across the face of it. And just glue the letters, just put glue on the letters that are going to actually touch the pumpkin. Kind of line it up, make sure it's straight. And then go ahead and finish out the other one. I just added a red leaf to it. I was real happy with this project. I hope you like it too. Okay, on this next one, I'm just using a clear vase and a candlestick holder, and I'm going to spray the candlestick holder with the oil bronze paint. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to take my foam, and I'm going to put it down in the middle, but you want to make sure that you have all the sides open so that when we add the popcorn, it'll pour in. So just kind of center it in the center, leaving a gap on all 4 sides, and then just start layering it up. And you want to layer it up until you get almost to the top, but not all the way to the top. You still want it to be inside the vase. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and take our candlestick holder. We're going to put some E6000 glue on it, and we are going to attach our vase to it. And then we're going to let it dry overnight. Just make sure you get it centered on there. Okay, next I'm just taking some regular popcorn. I got it at Walmart, and I'm just pouring it all the way to the top, almost to the top. Leave about a 1/4 of an inch from the top. And then I'm taking these flowers that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start cutting the stems and just putting them in the vase. And I just kind of do it however you want to. I'm just kind of putting all my orange ones in there, and then I'm going to put some of the cream colored ones in just around it. But these actually were really pretty flowers from Dollar Tree this year. I was surprised how good they looked. And then I'm coming in with these little balls that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just randomly putting those in as well. And you can put whatever you want to into this. It's just mainly the popcorn that I was wanting you to see. And then I'm coming back in with a piece of burlap ribbon. I'm just going to attach it to the back, pull it all the way around. Then I'm going to fold my edge over so it's got a nice finished seam on the back, and I'm just going to glue it down. Just pull that really tight around there and glue it down. It's just going to be right in the center. And then go ahead and put a little bit of glue in the front because it will help you to get it centered. And we're going to cover that little glue spot up with some raffia here in just a second. Just take some raffia and wrap it around there and then tie it in a little bow. And just cut off your excess, and then we're going to go ahead and glue it in. Okay, there you have it. It turned out really super cute. I was really happy with this project. Let me know in the comments which one of these projects you like the best. Okay, for this next one, we're going to take 24 corks, and we're just going to paint the face of them in the pumpkin color, and then we're going to paint 1 green for the stem. Just get them all painted, and we're going to make a pumpkin. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and paint mine green, and then I came back in and painted a different color green when I put it up against my leaves. It just didn't match, so if you want to skip this part, I'll show you what I painted mine in here in a little bit. Then I'm going to take some cottage white chalk paint, and I'm just going to paint my crate. Just completely cover it with white paint on all sides. You don't have to do the inside, just on the outside. Okay, next I'm going to take my words give thanks, and I'm going to stain them with the same stain I used in the previous video. Just put a little bit on there, and then once I got it on there, I took a paper towel and I wiped off the excess because I just wanted it kind of tinted that color. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and assemble the pumpkin, and we're going to start with a base layer with just 4, so glue them side by side for 4 of them. And then our next layer, we're going to do 5 together, so glue 5 of them together. Then we're going to do a row with 6 together. Another row of 5. And then another row of 4. Then we're going to take our 4 and put our 5 on top of it. Let it dry. We're going to go ahead and put our 6 on top of the 5. And then we're going to put another 5 on top of our 6. And then we're going to top it off with another 4. Okay, then I'm going to take my cork and I'm going to cut it in half for the stem. And then when I got my leaves up there next to it, I decided to paint it color a little bit closer to the leaves. Then go ahead and glue it right on top. And then go ahead and glue your leaves right next to that. Okay, next I'm coming back in with a paper towel and I put a little bit of that stain on it and I'm just kind of lightly going over the edges of it. And then I do go down through the middle of it a little bit just to kind of distress it a little bit. Don't overly do this part, but go ahead and get it, you know, at least all the corners distressed and the face just a little bit. Just kind of ran it through there a little bit just to kind of give it a little bit of aged look to it. Okay, then I'm just going to go ahead and glue my Give Thanks to my crate. Just kind of center it on there. And then I'm coming back in with some raffia and I'm just going to kind of tie it around the edge. And then tie it in a little bow. Okay, and then just trim off all the excess. And then we're just going to go ahead and glue. We're going to use E6000 glue to attach the cork to the box. And then a little bit of hot glue just to secure it while that dries. Just kind of center it on there. Okay, that one turned out super cute too. And I decided to come back in and tie a little bit of raffia around the stem also. And just tie a little knot on that one. And then just kind of clip it off. And then there you have it. It was super cute, super easy. I really liked this one. Okay, on this next one, we're just going to take 5 paint stir sticks and we're going to glue them together. We're going to take a big popsicle stick and just glue it at a diagonal across it. We're going to do it in 3 places on here. And then I went back in and did one across the very top, but you will have to cut it a little bit short to get it up there. Okay, then I'm taking 2 paint sticks. You just want your hat to hang over the edge a little bit on each side. So kind of figure out exactly where you want it to trim it, draw the line, and then go ahead and cut that off. And I'm just using the saw to cut that off. Next, I'm going to take some of the little Jenga blocks, and I'm going to take 2 for the bottom and then 2 for the top. So 4 on each side. Just glue them together and then stack them. And then we're going to glue them to the back. And this is just going to help it stand up. Now I came back in here after this and put a couple more on each side. You can skip this part because you are going to have to add some to the front to make it stand upright. So you really don't need to put this many on the back. You can skip these last 2 pieces. Okay, next I'm going to take 4 Jenga blocks. I'm just going to glue them side by side. And this is what we're going to attach his hair to. So I'm just going to take some raffia. I'm just going to glue across the top. And I'm just going to glue that down. And just kind of make sure you get it completely glued in. And then I'm probably cutting it off about 4 inches. But once you get it all put together, you can probably cut it off a little bit more. That's what I did. And just keep going all the way down until you have it completely full with hair. Okay, then after you do that, we're going to go ahead and glue our 2 sticks together. And make sure you use wood glue on this. It just makes it look a lot nicer because it doesn't stand up and bulge while like hot glue would. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and trim off the very top edge. And then I'm going to attach that with E6000 glue. And go ahead and clamp it if you can. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and take a ruler, and I'm going to come down 4 inches on one side, 3¼ inches on the opposite side, and that's how I'm going to attach my the bottom of my hat. Just kind of at an angle. And just let that dry good before you keep going. Okay, next I'm going to take a 27 by 11 piece of burlap fabric, and I'm just going to turn the edge over, fold it under, and go ahead and glue that down. And I'm coming behind about 6 inches from the side to do that. Then I'm going to wrap that around the back, and then I'm going to go all the way around the back with this side, and I'm going to overlap the front. So you're going to go over the front twice, and then that'll not show the sticks anymore. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn the back under, so I have a nice trimmed out edge on the back. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and gather up at the top above those sticks, and I'm going to tie that off with a piece of jute. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it about 2 inches from that jute, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that top off, and I'm going to go ahead and fray those edges out a little bit, and then just trim off the excess strings. Next, I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to go ahead and cut his hair just a little bit shorter, because I'm going to go ahead and put his eyes on. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and paint the brim of his hat. I'm going to paint it with a dark brown, and you could save yourself a step on this one and paint those sticks before you glued all that together. But I'm going to show you kind of a quick way that I did it. I just went ahead and painted it, and then I painted around the edges, not up to the hat completely, just like on the first stick. And then I'm coming back in with a piece of paper, and I'll just stick it up underneath there and finish it out. It just made it a little bit easier to use that piece of paper. Okay, next I'm taking these eyes, and I'll give you the pattern for these below because I can't freehand this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, place them exactly where I want them, and then I'm just going to trace around these. You can freehand it if you want, but I'm just tracing around these, kind of make sure that they're even, because you are going to have room for a nose and a mouth. And then I'm just going to go ahead and paint these in white. And when they're completely dried in, I'll go ahead and come back in and paint the black for the pupil. Just kind of take your time on this step. It's not real hard. It's like coloring in the lines when you were a kid. Then we get all the white put in, and we're going to just go ahead and draw a little triangle for the nose, and we're going to color it in with orange. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw a mouth, just kind of squiggly line around there, and then I'm going to take a Sharpie and just draw it on there. And then go ahead and paint that in orange. And then while all that dries, I'm going to go ahead and put some leaves and some flowers on top of the hat. Just glue those right down to that wood brim. And then add your flowers. Okay, next I'm going to take 3 of the little Jenga blocks. I'm going to glue them together. And we're going to put that on the very front just to kind of give it a little bit more balance on the front. And go ahead and put those together and let them dry. Okay, next I'm going to come back in and put the little pupils in. I'm just taking a real fine paintbrush, and I'm just kind of make an N. And then go ahead and color all that in, or paint all that in black. And then I'm going to outline everything in black as well. And you could have used a Sharpie. It would have probably been a little bit easier than a paintbrush on this, but I didn't think about it until after I was done. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and attach our little Jenga blocks to the front. Just use a little bit of wood glue. And then I'm going to take a little piece of jute to try to trim it out. And you can skip this part if you want to, because I did come back in and put like a little scarf around his neck. Okay, on this scarf, I'm just taking a 24 by 3 inch piece of fabric, and I'm going to go ahead and hem up both sides, glue them up, and then go ahead and glue the pieces inward. So you're going to come to meet the 2 sides in the middle, and then we're going to go ahead and fold it over and glue that down too. And then we're just going to go ahead and wrap it around, get it even all the way around, then go ahead and glue the one corner in, and just kind of pull it down a little bit. because you want to be able to see his mouth. And then I'm just going to tie it off 3 times. Okay, that one was pretty easy too. So if you like these kind of videos, be sure and like. If you want to see future videos like these, be sure and subscribe. If you want to be notified when I have another video, hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.